It's Count Chocula, and you're listening to IT in the D. Whatever the hell that is.
Welcome back. Thank you once again for hanging out with us. This is the one and only IT in the D show. I'm your host, Bob Waltonspiel, hanging out with producer, co-host extraordinaire, Randy, the sweat machine walker.
Oh, no.
Guest this week, we're very, very lucky. We have the founder and chief security officer for Ostra Security in the house, Mike Kennedy. Glad you could make it.
Yes, thank you.
And he brought Mel along too.
Yep.
I'm just kidding. Mel Kolinski's in the house. She is the sales and channel chief extraordinaire at Ostra. And you can find us online at itinthed.com. Do us a favor, give us a like on the socials, subscribe to us everywhere fine podcasts are sold. Just remember, next year, just check us out, meetup.com/itinthed. We will be third Thursday. We haven't done the schedule yet, but we'll be either in Detroit or Royal Oak, and we're probably I want to add a third location. I just don't know where.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
We'll get it posted eventually.
Yeah, just keep track on meetup.com/itinthed, and much appreciated. Mike, how you doing? Welcome to Detroit.
Yeah, thank you.
How's all right, let's go through the basics. Have you had a proper Detroit Coney yet?
No, I've not.
Have you had a Stroh's beer yet?
No.
Have you had a Detroit proper deep dish pizza yet?
No.
What are you doing?
Yeah, she took me to hibachi last night. And
Hibachi, you can go hibachi anywhere.
That wasn't my fault.
You're not a good Detroit ambassador, Mel. Where have you?
You live in the suburbs, don't you?
Yeah, I blame it on the burbs. We went to Ottava Via.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Oh, we've really had to kind of run around to accommodate.
See, typically when I have like someone coming in, I work downtown, and I said, "Do you want to go to Townhouse where you can get your same thing that everybody else has, or do you want the Detroit experience?" And 99 out of 100 times I'm like, "Give me." So we'll go to Nemo's and get a burger and a Stroh's. We'll go to Dooley's for a Coney, which is the Anthony Bourdain, his favorite place, and then you got to get a Buddy's Pizza. So it's kind of the triple threat. Yeah.
next time.
This time. It's not too late.
Tonight we're gonna do it. Yes.
The casino's
I really
open.
haven't fed you very much today.
No,
So
I'm stuffed.
So talk to me about everybody I think always dreams about being a founder, starting their own company.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. That's on your t-shirt. Don't do it.
Yep.
But what, everybody has that light bulb, that aha moment going, they're not doing it good. We could do this better. Like what was the aha moment where you kind of wanted to throw a wrench into the security industry?
It was a little different. I was tired of doing what I was doing.
What were you doing?
I was at a large Fortune 5 insurance company.
Okay.
Leading M&A, network, security programs for them.
Okay.
Great opportunity. I was there for 16 years, flew me around the world, did a lot of fun stuff for them, built a lot of very interesting pieces, but I got tired of traveling every week, not seeing my family, not being around the kids, and then just kind of the same in the monotony. I was lucky enough to be in roles where I was able to kind of get to build things. And then when it got to an operational standpoint, I got to back off and hand it off to somebody else. So that was a lot of fun, kept me entertained. But it got to a point where I didn't want to do it anymore. And I had an appointment with my tax advisor and told him, he asked, "What are you going to do next year?" And I said, "Well, I'm kind of kicking around this idea, starting a cybersecurity company focused on small to mid-market business, helping him," and, kind of explained it through. And he's like, "I'll sign up." Huh. And then a few weeks later, I was at Deer Camp and hearing one of my friends, president of a mechanical engineering company who just went through a ransomware event. And one of the others asked him, "What do you do? How do you stop or prevent this?" And his MSP told him, "There's nothing you can do. It'll happen. You just need to expect it and pay for it."
Not true.
Right. I mean, nothing's 100%, but you can still get to a point where you can have an expectation that you're not getting ransomware and paying $350,000 in Bitcoin.
My favorite old story was, how long ago was this, Randy, when that library got hit like in mid-America somewhere? And instead of paying it, instead of rolling back, they just threw everything away and started everything from scratch, bought new Cisco gear, bought new servers.
Right. Right. Let's just move on. Yeah.
At least we'll get fresh stuff.
Right. Yeah, we were doing an upgrade anyway.
Right. So that's always, I'm not trying to be everyone always says, hey, we want to bring enterprise level IT to mid and small market. And then when the rubber hits the road, we're like, well, we do also need revenue. So maybe we'll call on the 2-letter company down on the river. Maybe we'll call on, I guess, how did you stay true to your roots? And, or are you still like trying to bring that enterprise level to?
Yeah. So yes. And a little bit no too. Yes, that's at our core. But you're right. From a revenue standpoint, it's pretty hard, as well as, the market you're competing with it's consumer. I kind of consider it consumer. When you have a organization that's 5-person or less or 2-person, they're going to Best Buy or Costco to buy their computer. They're getting free McAfee or they're getting Defender. So you have a big...
Is it McAfee or is it Mac?
I don't know. Whatever that stuff is called. Whatever John named his company.
It's Azure and Azure. I hear it. Still to this day, I still hear it both ways. Sorry.
Well, I'm a farm kid from Iowa, so half my language is made up. Or
I can vouch for this.
or I taught myself running around the cornfields. So a lot of times it's a tough lift to get them to understand the importance of that enterprise level security.
Yeah.
So you do get it. There's in certain segments, but you're right. You have to move up. We're not an enterprise organization. We're not targeting those. Where our niche is really just to augment the individuals who don't have the security knowledge, security, but they know they need something.
Right.
So that could be an SMB. It could be a mid-market.
Fair. So I want to hear it from you, because one of the things I always make fun of marketing jargon, and security is the worst. And they're like, breaches cost each company $6 billion per breach. And telling a small business something like that, it's kind of like saying total addressable market on Shark Tank. They're going to throw you out.
All right.
How do you calculate, the secret sauce to this whole game is business outcomes, right? Like, how do you calculate true, like at the end of the day, it's half insurance, half like security is always one of the fine lines where you have to walk. Right. What would happen if you got hit by a bus tomorrow? Will your wife be able to pay her mortgage? You're like, I can't think about that. Right. It's the same conversation, but like, talk to me about how you like bridge the business conversations with some of these selling death and fear and breaches and outages and ransomware. Yeah,
you can't. Well, I'm anti-FUD,
sure.
So we're not selling FUD into an organization. It really needs to. It's actually a really easy qualifier. Are you concerned, or do you have interest in improving your security? No, yes, or why, and then moving on, because you're not going to. Because of that fear, the FUD aspects of it, you're not going to tip somebody over. I mean, you can't call me and tell me about, a Jeep, I need to buy a Jeep and why it's a good deal. Cause no, I'm not, I've been there, I've done that. I don't need a Jeep. This is what I'm going to drive.
Right. We all had one in our early 20s and never again. It's like a boat.
Right.
Same thing.
Yeah. Oh, maybe later maybe in 10 years or something, have another one to go beat on. But it's that same aspect is, what I found was you have individuals or businesses, organizations that want to do something. And so that's where you need to focus. And to get them to want to do something is to have more of a trusted advisor conversation rather than trying to sell this, you're going to have to pay these ransoms, you're going to shut down your business and all of this stuff.
Right.
It's more the conversation of like, what are you guys doing? How do we get on this journey together and take you through the security aspects of that journey?
We mock all the time that there's a vendor matrix for data security vendors. Usually when I have a CISO of a Fortune 500, that's the first thing we talk about. Like, how the hell do you make your way through that? And not saying that you're a golf club in the bag, but you're a golf club in that bag. They're going to buy it. There's an antivirus. There's a firewall. There's different elements and layers to this. I guess, how do you, when you're not selling FUD, how do you explain that you're just a golf club and layered security in that approach?
Do we do golf metaphors on this show?
That was the first time. Did I ever say golf bag before?
I don't know.
Maybe I just talked.
A weird one.
I talked about that the other day.
Are you guys big golfers?
No.
It feels very unnatural, to be honest.
Right.
I'm a horrible golfer. I think golf's a stupid sport.
The analogy makes sense.
Yeah,
At least to me it does. It doesn't make sense to you?
I don't know enough about golf.
Figures. All right. Security is
Tool
your
in the
golf
toolbox?
bag. Yeah, tool
That's
in the
much
toolbox.
better.
Yeah.
It's the same shit, Randy. God bless America.
Why do you need a 6-inch crescent wrench versus a 12-inch crescent wrench?
Why do you need a 92-inch lob wedge? Exactly. Same.
Right.
I'm going to start golfing again. That's why I'm thinking about it. I had bad knees for a few years, and now I'm finally normal.
Golf is for
Semi-normal.
driving golf carts and smoking cigars.
100%.
That's it.
Drinking before noon. Yeah.
Yep.
But I guess when you're in there, are you explaining like, hey, you probably want this over there. Hey, for identity, you're going to want this. I guess where how do because you're saying, hey, I want to take you on this journey. Well, that journey also involves juggling 16 other vendors or how many other vendors. I guess how are you when you're sitting and having these conversations? How do you?
It usually starts with, tell me about your business.
Yeah.
Where are you trying to go? The goal is to have you increase profits, have you grow your business, and how does security fit into that process? And so it's not here's a tool, this is what you need. I'm not telling you what you need. You're telling me what you need. And then I'm helping you identify or, inserting ourselves into some of that journey.
Sure.
It's not here's the matrix and these guys are the most rated and whatever stupid tool black box thing they offer. It really comes down to every business is unique. Every opportunity is unique. It's trying to understand what the business needs rather than trying to sell something into them.
And I've been in sales my whole career. I've sold products. Today I sell consulting, and I'm in that conversation
Right.
where what business, what are you trying to do?
Right.
Right. But like for me, like when I sold switches for HP back, 20 years ago, it was, the conversation had to be very limited. Like, I'm very good at this. Like, let's scope in. But I think for security with a small business, no, I'm trying to get my head wrapped around how I would go on that sales call. But you're kind of spot on,
right? But you're still doing it with the switches. You're asking, do you want at the time 1 gig, 10 gig, 20? What do you want for your backbone?
Right.
What do you have on IDFs? Do you have what's your distribution? Are you hub and spoke? How do you want to build
token
this?
ring all day?
I did take down a major oh God, I'm gonna AS400 when I had my computer grabbed the token and started broadcasting across the network, and all of a sudden, late one night, I had 20 guys on my desk like, "What are you doing? Move away from the keyboard." And it was the Nick, but you're doing the same kind of conversation, right? You're in there, you're trying to figure out in that discovery. It's what I think what happens a lot of is people come in and then they just say, you need to buy our tool. Here's why we're the best. Here's
this cloud. We got the best cloud.
Yeah, we got the best cloud. We have the best black box tool.
Well, here my take is like, selling security is different than selling
no, it's not. It's
you don't think?
No.
Because I always thought so. I had my 3 rules when I sold security back in the day, and it was you just got breached, and it's like checkbooks open, right? And that's rare,
right?
You got to check a box, meaning some sort of compliance regulation, or the third is based on I always said paranoia, but it's sophistication, right? Like securing a house. Do I need a pit bull and weather windows and a gun under every table, or am I fine with just
Right. So that last one I would see is who we target. The mid one that wants to check a box, great. We work with them and we help them check the box.
Yeah.
But they're trying to check a box. They're not actually interested in the cybersecurity journey where it's going to take them into compliance, policies, all the GRC stuff to, the future of, kind of that program of security. And then the first one too is, that is like the ambulance chasers. Running around trying to steal whatever budget because of their payment.
I feel bad for the CISO. Anytime there's a breach on hits LinkedIn or hits the news.
Yeah,
my God, the Target breach like that CISO like RIP or inbox.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like the girl with her picture on Facebook like RIP or inbox. I mean, at least from your perspective, Mel, on the sales side, like how do you approach it as well? Like, I know you're not saying best cloud, but like how do you from his, viewpoint to your viewpoint, sales side is a completely different, it's close, but it's different. Like, how are you approaching, partnering together, working together, or like, here's, not saying here's how we're better, but here's how we're good. You know what I'm saying? I guess, how do you approach it?
I mean, it is very similar. I feel like we, the conversation doesn't really shift. I mean, I think maybe it gets dumbed down a little bit if I'm the one delivering some of the information.
Fair.
But I use a lot of like, oh well, you locked the front door, but you left the back door open. Like, the windows are all unlocked. Like, it's it's less technical, but it's the same message. And I think things that we lean into a lot when we are talking with partners, especially, is that we are here to work with you and your client, but we're also very open and transparent about what we're talking about. And I think that is a thing that is missing in a lot of our competitors and who we run into out in the wild and other conversations we have. And I think that's why people are apt to buy some crappy tool or whatever, because they don't understand what they're buying anymore, because it's just gotten to be far too muddy.
Right.
Which, I guess is kind of it always brings me anyway back to talking about the nonprofit that he started, because it goes real hand in hand with like the philosophy behind the way we talk about what we do. And it is an open, honest conversation. We're not gonna work with somebody that we're not the right fit for. We won't just sell them something to sell them something if it's not what they actually need.
But it's end of quarter, Mel. I'm just being fun.
I know that's the hard part.
That's the hard part.
And the thing that I always think about too is we're trying to drive outcomes, right? We're trying to drive outcomes for those businesses. Like I said earlier, our goal is that you grow, you make money, and you're on this cybersecurity. There'll be a point where you outgrow us. Thankfully, you get to a point, but then you have employees leave and they go somewhere else. They bring us along. It's not us, in our DNA to go in and sell you a tool and then run away and just, recurring revenue every year, automatic renewals.
Well, we'll give you 5% off if you sign by Friday.
I hate that shit.
So I did.
I'm also, by the way, sorry, Bob. I'm so distracted right now by Randy's calves. Have you been working out? What is going on with your calves right now?
I love leg day at the gym, but also I'm fat, so they're always carrying a lot of weight.
Yeah, you didn't know the fat guy calf thing? Yeah, can attest to that.
Well, yeah, you ruined the compliment, but
also skinny jeans.
Yeah,
show them off.
Yeah, jeans are pretty skinny today. I noticed.
Knock it off with the skinny jeans, right?
sorry.
No, I want to get to the nonprofit, but I want to tackle.
You got to stay in the for-profit moment.
I got to stay in the. No. That was the one thing when I worked at Cisco. There was a thing. How do we increase profitability by 1%? And I'm like, quit doing buy in July, because their year end was July 31st. And I go, because every rep, like that's how they train everybody at EMC, only buy all the techies, and they go, oh, we're just going to wait till end of quarter and buy it. And
I had a vendor tell me that January is end of quarter for them, so to call back mid-January if I want to get some pricing discount.
Yeah, and I said, if you want 1% margins, stop doing it.
Yeah.
Just let them buy natural. That's one thing I like about the business I'm in now. There's none of this end of quarter. If you got to push it out, no one's going to yell at you.
Right. So I was a buyer for a long time too. So my biggest budget.
So you heard it all.
Yeah. So my annual budget was around 10 million. I had a program that I ran for them that got $100 million budget. And so I did and so I bought a lot of houses, paid for a lot of college. But so yeah, I've heard it all. But then I also had a really good vendor that I worked with that knew that I did the research, knew what I wanted, wasn't coming in to they wanted to be a part of the journey. When they came to talk to me, they're like, hey, we see this going on. We're testing this out. We'd love for you to kind of give us some feedback. And it was more of that relationship partnership rather than a sales buyer experience.
But then like as a buyer too, like we always joke, like you could do a POC every day for the rest of your life.
Oh yeah.
Like, because the vendors will say, good, let's go.
Yeah.
It's gotten to be too much. The one thing I wanted to talk about, we were hot and heavy with the whole zero trust thing. I was like this when I have security practitioners on. And then it went away.
Because we're talking about AI now.
We're talking about AI, but the philosophies are still there. Or aren't they? Correct me if I'm wrong. Because like what happened, because we had a zero trust vendor come on the show that was a former founder of a large company, one of the pillars of the internet that you would know.
Sure.
And I'm like, the company's not around anymore. At least I don't think it is. Randy, have you remember Tempered? I think but they were a zero trust product, and it's been gone. Like it's everybody's like, well, it starts with identity, and then okay, great, but what happened to it? I'm curious as to like, you've seen and followed the journey. Like, what happened to it?
What happened to zero trust?
Yeah.
Why it's not AI? Where everybody's talking about AI. That's why.
But what the hell is it? What the hell is AI now? No,
it's just more noise.
Yeah, I know.
It's the shiny object.
You can't say agentic on the show, by the way. It's been banned already.
Yeah.
These guys?
Is it? Oh, I don't know.
No, it's zero trust microsegmentation.
Oh, now it's microsegmentation.
Microsegmentation.
It's way more than just regular segmentation.
But the thing is that's been around for decades.
Yeah.
And it's hard to implement. It's hard, some people get it. I mean, if I was starting a business from scratch and buying everything brand new, then maybe it would, do that. But you hear so many people have tried to implement it and it fails. That's my favorite thing right now about AI is because we're not talking about zero trust anymore.
That's what, yeah.
But now I would be excited about the next thing so we're not talking about AI anymore.
So I was about 10 years ago, I worked for a SIM company they introduced UEBA.
Oh, sure.
Machine learning, look for the weird, baseline normal.
Right.
Our joke was it was 100,000 people in a call center looking at the logs. It wasn't actually real.
It's like the Fireflies guys.
Totally is. But now it's like this, we're going to build these AI agents to look for these. And they're like, well, what are they baselining it on?
Right.
And at least with machine learning, you understood.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, nobody's badged in before 5 a.m. ever in the history of the company. Now they have, it's a red flag.
Right.
We're going to look at it.
Yeah.
Humans going to look at it now, but at least it got, hey, this person's never logged into this server and now they're, opened up a we're going to red flag it, but we're not.
Right. This document, they're not supposed to be in this team. Well, I mean, that was NAC, right? Yeah.
But NAC was,
yeah.
But that was then. So, I mean, what's AI doing to security now? I want to hear it from you. Cause I keep, again, when we had 15 people coming in here talking AI and digital transformation before that, and it's always a different answer. And I'm fascinated by how you look at it or how you perceive it. Because I had, I'm going to add one more thing to this layer.
For sure.
We had one of the doctors was he from Walsh College, tech university, tech and business. And he was like, agents are dead. It's all about digital twinning. He goes, I have my students talk to my digital twin. And I sat there with my jaw down. I'm like, all I keep hearing is agentic. He's like, no. And I'm like, well, what did you have to feed that thing to build it? He goes, it just had all my stuff. And I'm like, well, isn't that it? Because I started talking about how I look at AI was like R2-D2.
Right.
Luke still has to fight Darth Vader.
Right.
R2-D2 gets to input the plans for the Death Star into the little port, the thing that sticks out of him.
Yep.
Right. Luke doesn't have to do that. So it's like you're helping with and he goes, no, it's more. And I sat there and I listened to him and I'm still like mind blown by it.
I've never heard of digital twinning. I would assume that he just trained an LLM or something on himself.
Well, that's why I asked, how long did it take to train the LLM? He goes, I already had all the stuff.
Oh.
So I'm like, is that you're just an agent and you're calling it a digital twin? And I'm like, I'm still kind of sideways about it.
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Now, I've been playing with OpenAI and teaching OpenAI to talk in a Gen X voice, to talk in all these different things. So then it starts to appear like me. But I mean, all that stuff can hallucinate in 2 seconds. So what was the question? Security and AI? Aliens?
Yeah.
How are aliens taking us over?
Coney dogs.
I think, you hit on it a little bit there, or it's interspersed, is that people don't understand AI. Even the people that think they are telling us that they understand AI, they don't understand AI. And like in that case, they're not understanding fully. They don't know how to train or ask for it to do stuff. They're just assuming AI is going to solve everything. It doesn't have critical thinking processes.
Right. But if I had an AI of myself, I would just like 2 minutes into it, I go like, this thing's an asshole for one, and two, it's wrong.
Right. But then it's the kind of the I was gonna say the training side of it and working with it. You still need the human in the loop. So like AI in the SOC, we talk about like, yep, great. We're trying to leverage AI tools in our SOC. But what it's doing is like what we kind of talked about, the machine learning standpoint of like, okay, this event correlates with this event, which correlates with this.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I kind of equate it to like the old Excel macros or Clippy stuff, right? And then that pumps out. Then the human gets involved and says, okay, and helps train
Right.
that piece.
Well, that's what the whole UEBA thing was like.
Yeah.
Hey, it goes 10 to 1 if you have 10 agents or 10 people looking at logs. Now you only need one because this thing's doing all the automation. But I guess that's the one thing. Like one of the jokes of the show too is like innovation. Like everybody, like we need to innovate, and I had this conversation a few times where they're going. 20 years ago, HP was saying it's 80% break fix, 20% innovation for the budget. I think today, if you ask anyone, it's pretty close to the same. We haven't shifted all these tools, all this technology. So here you have a SOC, and you're able to automate, and like maybe. And we talked about Copilot saving you an hour a day, but then what are you doing to innovate for that hour a day? So I guess
Copilot's not helping me innovate. But.
Well, I'm just but what I'm saying is that hour. Let's say it saves you an hour,
right? Yeah,
total. But like if you're not in, all you're doing now is hanging out at the coffee cooler or the coffee machine more. Yeah. You're not like to empower people to innovate is a different frame mindset.
Sure.
Well,
not only just that, but just going to buy a tool. Buying Copilot and then telling everybody now they have access to AI and they can do stuff with it, but then they don't know what to do with it.
Making pictures of the Lions versus the Packers on Sunday. And,
exactly.
No, but that's the thing. Like, what would you say, or how would you say like, hey, my tool is going to save, because I'm sure you have automation savings in it as well in terms of, terms of bridging that innovation gap. Like what, is that even are we still in that phase where we don't know yet?
I think, obviously there's a lot of people that do know, but we're not in a phase that we don't know yet.
Yeah.
We recognize in our adoption and our implementation of AI tooling, we recognize the speed to being able to get involved in events, doing forensics, and investigations, reducing false positives. We see all of that activity. But we are still because we're taking a practical approach to it, we're still inserting a human in that process. And we're not relying 100% or dumping it on the AI tool, just say go. And
it's like telling AI they can release in prod. Like, no, not. That's no. Yeah, it's totally not a thing.
But I also think a lot of people aren't, when they're adopting AI tooling or so there's like the innovation on the products and the vendors, but then there's the AI adoption inside the business. And I think a lot of times businesses adopting AI are not thinking of, it's like talking to your kids about posting pictures on, online. It's that same thing of like, okay, what are your employees using in the AI tooling? Are they taking code, sticking it in there, having it read out, taking proprietary information, customer information, and does Copilot now have access to PII and PHI data? So
it's a thing.
Yeah. Oh, it's a very big thing, and people aren't looking at it. So I think I'm more interested in the security on AI, and security on the agents, and having kind of the checks and balances against those pieces, knowing what an agent is. That agent allowed to have that level of access to that level of that system?
Well, it's no different than if you look at 2013, anyone with a credit card would spin up an instance of AWS or Azure or Azure. But I think we're feeling it's the same conversation. Like I said, everything changes, but it stays the same. We're having the conversations now where all these AI agents are rogue.
Right.
So we're building day job. We're building like a sandbox with guardrails. Are we allowed to say guardrails still? I think we buried that one. Maybe. Mm-hmm. That was a me and Schneebly thing. We buried it. But we're building a sandbox with guardrails that like Mel or Randy or me, we could build an AI agent or a model that we know isn't outside or can't access or doesn't bleed any data.
Right. But then you lose the ability to learn.
Right. So it's it's this catch-20, and again, I think, this, we don't know what we don't know yet. And I think in 10 years, it's going to be the next thing. And then we're going to have the same conversations,
If we make it that far.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. So talk to me about this nonprofit I hear so much about.
So that took like a dark turn for a minute.
It did not.
Truth in Cyber. Mike started it, but I don't know. I think we explain it differently, but to me, we run into a lot of people out in the wild that talk differently about what cybersecurity is, what their services actually do. Acronyms, I don't know if you've heard, but those are kind of big in our space.
OMG.
So I got to tell a story real quick. We're on a big bid, and we have one of our vendors on, and something goes into chat because our vendor's in our chat, and he says something PwC, and I'll go, I didn't think we were competing with PwC on this. Every flag gets lit, so I go nuts and I call everybody. And the tech that wrote that, he finally gets back. I go, like, will you find out, like, why is this going on? He goes, Bob, it's Power Center. That's what we call it. So we know PwC Power Center.
No, that's
that was their
Why?
acronym.
Why wouldn't you have an R in there?
Because we have bad acronyms, and I'm like, lower the flags. It's Power Center. And they're like, oh, everybody. We had a good laugh about that today. Acronym hell.
don't like that one.
I don't either. But I didn't make it up. It just this is what it is.
Why does that even need 3 letters?
PC? Because a PC is a personal computer, Randy. That's why.
You're not using that in that context, though.
I don't know. I just work here. Truth in cyber.
Started out as a pledge, we'll say, amongst vendors to be more honest, transparent,
Good luck with that.
accountable, self-aware around what we're talking about, providing, et cetera.
Not just vendors, but customers, everybody.
Well, yeah.
In our industry, in our cyber industry.
Yeah.
That's a goal.
I would say we've kind of morphed and grown from there into some more like educational pieces. So started a podcast, done a couple of like roundtables where you have open conversation around different topics, and kind of work towards educating in general out.
So are you just like grabbing people by the back of the neck and say, see this, knock it off?
Yeah.
Trying to.
Quit being an asshole, tell the truth, be better.
I mean, well, yeah. There used to be I don't know, in the MSP space, there was a guy that came out with a tagline that said, where there's mystery, there's margin. And a lot of then MSPs.
It's a little ooh.
A little ew. And
I think I need a shower.
That's
It's like never waste a good crisis. Is that what some
Right,
politician
exactly.
said that or something? Yeah.
right. Like the where you talked about the breaches earlier, chasing people with the big open budgets, right? So, that aspect and that kind of that mentality is embedded in this space. And I got really frustrated with lack of transparency in invoicing, dishonesty, and billing for services that people didn't know they had or why. And that's where it kind of, we needed to do something different. And so that's where the truth in cyber came from. So,
but I think if you, taking someone's 3 points of margin out of a deal, just to, and for the greater
you're
good.
not taking 3 points of margin.
I'm kind of being funny, but here I am as a vendor that I am spewing this garbage, but I know I'm fleecing a little. See, here's the thing though. The ones that fleece are going to get caught in the end anyway, because any customer will go through a vendor process. You know what I mean?
Well, you would hope, but you would be surprised at how much that isn't done. And because
you saying it's like me with Comcast keeping them for 20 years, where I'm like, oh my God, I could get YouTube TV for like a third of the price.
Right.
I just didn't feel like it.
Right. Or like the 30 streaming solutions
totally
that you pay for. But it's not, because you're buying on a relationship. It's my cousin's, nephew or, my sister's nephew, or whatever that's doing this. And so you're buying a product or solution I'm taking care of, but I have had too many conversations when I'm going through an invoice with a customer and saying like, why do you have a SQL server? You're 100% cloud and all remote employee staff, but you're paying for a SQL server and monthly maintenance on a SQL server. And he's like, well, what's a SQL server? This is what you need to go ask your MSP.
Yeah.
This is, and so there's a lot of that, kind of the dishonesty. So driving more transparency, more accountability, honesty, and then like Mel's talking about with the education, the awareness of, we should do better. And that's where like the taglines of, have you ever been lied to? Because we've all been lied to by, customers, vendors.
Knowingly or
partners.
sometimes unknowingly.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. To the point where we had one come up to us at a booth at CloudCon and asked a vendor, firewall vendor, that asked us, what it was, explained it to him, and he looked at us and he said, "Well, I'm in sales. I have to lie. I mean, I can't sign
That's
this
gross.
pledge." Right.
It was so gross.
And so I'm like,
As he said, he's got the fastest next gen firewall.
Right.
What the hell's that?
"Yep,
All the blinking lights.
all the blinking lights."
Next gen. Like
And I
we banned that one too, didn't we? That's after talking to Schneebs.
Next gen?
Anything? Yeah. Everything's next gen. It's IT for crying out loud.
2.0.
yeah, what's an old gen
2.1.
firewall?
I don't even know.
Right.
That was our old joke. Like when I started this, oh, we're secure. We have a firewall. That was being said a lot.
Right.
And,
Right.
You know,
You need a properly configured firewall.
that too.
Right. So there's there was a data breach about a year or two ago. SolarWinds potentially, Orion was causing a lot of impacts with MSPs, but there were quite a few MSPs that didn't have a problem, and the reason they didn't have a problem was because they had a properly configured firewall. What we all should have learned. You mentioned it earlier from Target. What we all should have learned from Target is if they get in, don't let them out.
Default password on the
Yeah.
POS
Well,
systems.
default
Isn't that
password.
what that was?
It was a default password, but what they ended up, that's how they took SolarWinds with that default password.
Yeah.
But then they took over Orion at all the MSPs because then they could steer the traffic somewhere else and control the ingress egress at that MSP then to all their clients. So if you had a properly configured firewall that were blocking ports or blocking that access to third party, then those clients weren't impacted.
Crazy.
So yes, a firewall, everybody should have them, but you need to properly configure.
Right. So truthandcyber.org, is that how to find out?
I feel like every time you look over at me, I'm finishing up a yawn and I feel so.
Knock it off. Can you they sell whiskey downstairs. I got to wake you up.
Yep.
I have narcolepsy, Bob. Be kind.
Do you really? I can't take you bowling then? Was it what movie is that? Where
Oh yeah, she falls asleep throwing the ball. Throws herself down the lane.
Right.
I think Mike's still waiting for the moment where I fall asleep in front of him. Like he's.
Let's go drink after this. How do people get involved? Do you want pledge signing? Or?
Yeah. So we have that website. You can sign up, take the pledge. We have the podcast. Gonna follow us on the podcast, and then we're putting together our schedule for next year right now. Getting out to events, meeting people. We're gonna try to do some more roundtables, education, and then really the biggest thing for me is trying to drive community around it.
Yep.
Right. It's not a Mike show. It's or Mike and Mel show. And it's around how do we get as a community, talk about this, push it, get more of this transparency, honesty.
We should introduce you to, we used to co-host of the show for a long time, Nuri. He started, what is it called? Is it Teacher Parents?
Yeah. Oh, what is that?
Basically it's a checklist. Because now with people calling and saying, hey, this is Timmy, your grandson, because you can mask anyone's voice, and calling grandma saying, I'm in jail, give me $300.
Right.
So now it's well, what's the password? So there's this, snuffleupagus or whatever that you make.
Yeah.
But there's a one pager you put by the phone. It just says, don't do this, don't do that.
Oh, yeah.
Don't go to Best Buy or don't go to buy a gift card.
Mm-hmm. Right.
If you got any problems, if they ask this, call me. If they say this, if they say it's me, here's the house password, but he built the, and again, it's kind of this grassroots thing you're doing, but it ties into what you're doing too.
Right. Yeah. My gift to all my family and friends this year is personal incident response plans.
I'm sure they love that.
Yeah.
Wow. Thanks, Uncle Mike. You're the best.
So cool.
Oh, they get so annoyed. It's like, okay, give me your phone. And now you've lost, and we do a little tabletop. Give me your phone. You lost access to your Google, rebuild your life. Like, whoa, what do you mean? I'm screwed. I can't. And so walking through that.
That just got joy and happiness written all over Christmas. Wow.
Right, but along those same lines, it's like, you got to be thinking about this stuff. When you click on something and you accidentally give up your credentials, how are you going to get it back? So
you got to get shamed, and the problem is when it's yours.
Yeah,
you're not. When it's work.
Right.
You get put on the naughty list, and the CISO sends it out, and then your boss goes, "Did you just freaking click on the link, you dipshit?"
Right.
There isn't that for life.
No, there isn't that for life.
No.
And then when you talk about the shame, that's part of the problem. Is there's shame? There's this stigma around shame, and out there when people buy the gift cards, they're not talking about it. They're not. My great aunt got caught up in Publishers Clearinghouse used to do the the lotteries.
yeah.
So she got caught up in public, whatever scam and coughed up about $90,000, thinking she was winning $20 million, and all over the phone. It was before kind of the big internet push on emails and all these other scams. It was still Nigerian scams, but what she ended up, that piece was very shameful for her. And
because you're on the news now.
Yeah.
Everybody sees you at the grocery store.
Right. And so you don't want to talk about it. You don't want to be a part of the stigma. And so, the suicide rate in the elderly from this specific is really high.
The beekeeper, wasn't that the story for that?
Sorry, I was still looking up the
bowling. Yeah, the movie Beekeeper.
Yeah.
Narcolepsy bowling scene. It was Deuce Bigelow, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Did you look up how to induce narcolepsy?
No.
Oh.
Whiskey, I think. But hey, we're going to cut you guys loose, but we can't appreciate you guys more stopping in. I know you're on business travels and making time for us. This has been fantastic. Mike Kennedy, Mel Kolinski from Ostra Security, OSTRA. We'll put you in the show notes, but on behalf of Bob and Randy, do us all a favor, drink up your drinks, get your phone numbers. You don't got to go home. You just got to get the hell out of here. See you next week. Drive careful. Beat it.